a very lovely, wet, cold, gloomy winter morning here in Southeast Texas. But hey, we can't complain. It's not snowing, right? But we wanted to do something here to the back of the coach for a little while now. We just never really have gotten around to getting it done because we've been on the road so much in it that we just hadn't had time to park it and get those things out of there. But we're going to pull these taillights out and we are going to send those off to Kentucky, which is where we're headed here in a couple of weeks, and pick them back up when we get up there. But a very good friend of mine, Mr. Robert, that lives up there in Kentucky, is a fantastic paint and body man, fabricator. He loves to work on stuff like that, and he loves to make custom stuff. But anyways, we had been talking about smoking the taillights on the motorhome just to bring them up to a little bit more of a modern day feel. And we've been trying to get that done for a while now, but like I say, when you're running the roads, you just really can't. So we've got the motorhome parked now here for several months. We're not planning on going anywhere. We're not taking it back to Tennessee with us this time. We're just going to drive the wife's Grand Cherokee. And so we're going to get these things out and mail them up to him and let him do his magic on them. And man, are they going to be awesome looking. They're starting to show their age a little bit, so the clear for the backup lights is starting to get that, it's been washed so many times over the years, right? They get those little scratches in there. And, man, I like to choke on their stuff, right? But anyways, they get those little scratches in there and that kind of makes them look hazy, and you can buff them out and it lasts for a while. But ultimately, to get those to stop doing that, you really need to polish them really, really well and then put something over them to hold that. So anyways, we're going to get those things out and we're going to mail them to Kentucky. And the next time we see them, they will look completely different than that. So that's one of the projects that's coming up. And somebody had commented on one of the videos, one of our subscribers, thank you, sir, very much. He had asked about the headlights that we were planning on doing. I do have the headlights. I just really have been avoiding putting those things in because of a multitude of reasons that has nothing to do with the headlight. But I'll show you what those look like. We might as well go ahead and spill the beans and let you see what we're planning on putting in there. And hey, on a real future note, we may share a little extra something with you over here that's underneath this cover right here. We don't generally show that thing too much anymore to people really, but underneath that cover right there is a 1997 Mustang Cobra that the wife and I bought brand spanking new. And yes, this is 2022, folks, and that thing only has 43,000 miles on it. Yes, I know that's hard to believe. But let me show you those headlights, and I think that'll be pretty awesome. Okay, so we've had the coach now for a little over a year, and actually, honestly, on the day that we picked it up, I looked at the headlights and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do something about those. They're so faded and, they're just old, right? It's 2004 model. But, as with a lot of these things that were built like this, you have to try to figure out what the heck they used, because it was like, whatever, they used a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You never had any idea at all. So that's where Premier out in Junction City, Oregon comes in again. My God, those folks are fantastic. But I had sent them an email on their link on the website about questions. So I popped the question over there and I was like, hey, we bought a country coach and I would love to replace all the lights in the front. What do you guys have in stock that may be, new old stock or what fits it? And Kevin, oh my God, that guy is wonderful. He sent me an email back and he was like, yeah, laugh out loud. I feel you, man. He said those things just never did really last like that. But this is what we have for them now. And this is what we're installing in them when they come in and they look like that and we want to change them. And he sent me a link to some new headlights. And I was like, heck yeah, man, send me a set of those. And this is what we have now. Boom. So that's what we're going to be putting into it. And there's you a little side-by-side comparison, right? Old, very tacky looking, modern, all LED halos, LED turn signals. These things are smoking, literally, because they really are smoked. So we're going to get those out eventually and put these new ones in. It's mostly a plug-and-play situation, but there is a little bit of modification that has to be done. And the reason why I have lingered so long to do this, because really, folks, I've had these things for over 6 months, almost 7 months. I know it's ridiculous, But somewhere along the way, previous owner, something, they have actually taken the adjusters and epoxied them into the headlight buckets. I actually cannot get those headlights out. I'm going to have to cut the adjusters out of the holes, grind it all back out to get all the epoxy off of there. I'm only assuming that the holes that the adjusters go into are probably either oversized or worn out or cracked or broken or something like that. So I'm gonna have to come up with some creative way to try to mount the new headlights in there. And, excuse me, I have an idea floating around in my head already. And plus, it's just the pure pain in the butt to even get to those things. I mean, you only have this small opening here to work through to get to them. I wish we had a slide out generator, but that would make it a lot easier. But we don't. And then crawling underneath the thing and up in there, well, you can't do that either. So you literally have to try to work through this small hole to get to the headlights. But if you look at the back of these things, when they go in there, those adjusters, they're supposed to pop into the hole behind here, and then these little things right here just snap into the adjuster. But these are actually threaded into the headlight. Let's see if I can show you a better view of that right there. See, those things are actually threaded into the headlight. So I think one of the ideas we have floating around is we're just going to unscrew the 3 adjusters here, and we're going to actually put some threaded rod in there. Go into the holes that are already here once we get all that stuff cleaned out, and we'll use like some big, almost like a fender washer, and some nuts and stuff, and then we can clamp that fiberglass between those big washers, and that'll help spread that load of the headlight out there. That's normally what happens, is these things are actually kind of heavy, and that thin fiberglass that they use in there over time, it just works it out. But anyway, that's one idea we got floating around. Then we can just use the double nut on the threaded rod, and we can move it back and forth, and we can adjust the headlights. I think it's going to work, actually. I've already been in there kind of looking at it. And but anyway, that's been the holdup. I know we've talked about the headlights a couple of times, but I did want to go ahead and show them to you. They're absolutely gorgeous headlights. Thank you, Kevin, so much. And the application for the front of these things is actually Ford Explorer headlights. Yes. So there are so many, man, I'm choking here. There are so many headlight options available in the aftermarket world for a Ford Explorer. And that's all that goes in there. So there they are. Those are the old ones. Hopefully someday those will be in there. Woo! I almost would rather go have a root canal done, but I already had that done too instead of putting these in. So I can't use that excuse anymore. But one of these days we'll get those in there. So we're going to get the taillights moderned up. We'll get the headlights moderned up eventually. And keep on working down the road to improving this thing over time. Like I say, it wasn't perfect when we bought it, and we didn't expect it to be. It was a 2004 model. We got a really good deal on them. I mean, don't know what else to say. I've still got to come up with something for the bottom bumper valance area for the fog lights. This one is broke right there. And I did have another subscriber comment. Thank you so much, sir. You know who you are. He actually suggested that he had replaced his with some round LED lights that he bought at Tractor Supply that were made by Traveler. And unfortunately, I don't think they offer them anymore. He even sent me a link to it. I looked on their website. I went up to the store, talked to them. Everything is square now. I can't get round ones. So I've got to come up with something that'll fit in there, because it works great. It's bright. The LED still works, but the lens is broke. But a few things like that. We would love to have the whole thing painted, but woo-wee. Have you priced painting a coach this size? Ours does have a little bit of paint issues on it. Nothing that bothers me, but I did check with Velvac on getting some replacement mirrors. Our chrome is scratched and starting to kind of peel off a little bit around here. See, it's getting like that, but anyways, those things are expensive also. It's it's like $1,500-$1,600 a mirror. So I'm toying around with the other idea of maybe taking those apart and stripping them all down. I don't know. But anyway, a few little projects coming, but we'll get them all done eventually. See you guys later.